Hello, love. So, this week has been about relationships as mirrors, how relationships are messengers, just like most everything in life. We've talked about the body as messenger, we've talked about messages in life coming from different places. So, let's dive a little bit deeper into this relationship thing because it can be complicated and complex, right? So, every relationship in your life carries a message for you. Every relationship in your life, you have aligned for yourself masterfully. And every single one of those relationships is mirroring something back to you, whether you're aware of it or not, right? So think about the relationships that really make you feel good. When you're around somebody, maybe your best friend, and they really make you laugh, right? When you're with them, you feel really loved. Your heart is open. You're just full of joy when you're around them, right? Those messages are generally easy to decipher. That person is mirroring back to you the joy that you are, the love that you are. Those are the good ones. Those are the happy ones. Those are the easy ones, right? But there's another level of this that can be very sneaky and subtle. It can be a little bit harder to define, and I have lived it myself. So we're going to talk about that one next. So think about someone that you meet that you really admire, somebody that inspires you, somebody maybe you've read their book or you've taken a class from them, or maybe there's someone that's come into your life as a friend and you just genuinely think that person is very wise, that they know so much, you've learned so much from them, right? There's nothing wrong with any of those things. But what can happen sometimes is we can put people on a pedestal, meaning we have put this person up here and we're down here. So we've created this hierarchy, this situation where we believe, oh, this person is better than me, right? And when that happens, that's when we start to give away our sovereignty. That's where we give away our power. That is a power leak, right? So I'm going to share exactly how I know this is true. When I was growing up, I lived in an environment where I very quickly learned that it was not safe to stand in my power. I did not feel loved at home. I got bullied at school. I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere or that I was loved for who I was. So, because I could not control anyone else, I couldn't control what was going on in my home, I couldn't control what was going on at school. What I could control were my grades, right? I could get straight A's, I could be on the honor roll, I could be the model student and the teacher's pet. So that's what I did. I strove for that. Every time I went into a new grade, right? That was the connection that I was looking for with the teacher. I needed that. That was how I received love. That's how I felt loved, right? I needed the teacher to say, oh my God, Tanny, you do such good work. Oh, you're such a good listener. You do so well. Like, I was the student that followed all of the instructions to a T, that exceeded the teacher's expectations, right? I was that student because that was how I received love. And there's nothing wrong with that. It was an adaptation, right? A lot of us have adaptations that we got growing up where we were in situations and we got the message that there was a part of us that was too loud or too much or not enough or whatever it is. So we shoved that part of ourselves away and we created an adaptation so that we could survive, so that we could feel safe, so that we could feel loved. The problem is, right, I did this as a kid, but my nervous system and my body never got the memo that I didn't need that adaptation anymore when I moved into adulthood. So as an adult, I would find a coach, or I would take a class from a coach. I would take a course. I would have friends that would come into my life, or people that I would meet, in person in my life. And I would decide that that person was amazing in ways that I was not. I would be like, oh, wow, this person is so freaking wise. Oh my gosh, they're so good at this. They know so much about this. So I would put them on the pedestal. They would become the teacher figure. They would be up here and I would be down here, right? I'm leaking my sovereignty and giving my power away to them. But you want to know what's really cool that I just learned? This is the mirror aspect of it, right? When you put somebody on a pedestal, whatever it is that you believe they possess that you don't, you already possess it, right? You're recognizing it in them because it already exists in you. It is impossible to recognize something in someone else that you don't already possess. And when you reframe it like that, it's actually pretty awesome, because I have looked back here in the last few days to these spaces where I was leaking sovereignty to these people, where I was giving sovereignty away to others. And it's incredible because every single thing that I admired in them, I already possess in me. And now that I know that, it has helped me to move into a new level of myself. It can help you move into a new level of yourself as well, if you're willing to look at those spaces and allow. So think about it. Think about somebody you greatly admire. Think about someone who inspires you, right? Whatever it is that you admire in that person, whatever they do that inspires you, you already have that within you. Let that shit sink in, because it's true. So now let's look at the other side of that coin, right? Relationships that are not the most fun. Relationships or alignments in your life with people who irritate you, who get on your nerves, who you downright cannot stand. Remember, every relationship is a mirror, and you are designer and aligner of your life. So if that person is showing up, they are showing up because there is something that you need to learn from them, right? So for me, a lot of times when people would come around and they would do things that did not align with me, they would say things that didn't align with me, they would believe things that didn't align with me, I would be like, what in the hell is wrong with them? Something's wrong with her. He ain't right. I would go into a place of judgment. So when you shift your perspective, right, and you look at it from a standpoint of, what is this person showing me about me that I may not want to look at? It changes the game. Because instead of trying to make someone wrong, you're seeking to understand the message instead. And many times, the message that we are being given is something that we have shoved so far down into the shadow that we don't even realize it's there, because it was something that was very painful for us to face. A way that we may have had in the past, behaviors that we may have been okay with in the past, ways that we may have treated other people, right? But it's a reflection and it has a message. And when you connect, when you get the message and you connect with that part of yourself, you can integrate that part into your wholeness in a way that it will be beneficial instead of detrimental, right? It's all part of the process. It's all part of the growth and expansion that can happen when you allow, right? So this brings me to another point. You cannot walk another person's path. No matter how badly you may want to, no matter what you believe you see for that person, Think about everything that you've experienced in your life. Every experience that you have had up until this moment has made you who you are today. I used to resent parts of my life, being bullied, growing up in a home that was dysfunctional with alcoholism and mental illness and all of these things going on. And I carried a lot of resentment over that stuff for a long time. That didn't do anything but make me sick, right? It kept me sick. It kept me in a state of low vibration. And again, that's not bad or wrong. That's just where I was with it at the time. But what I have come to realize is I experienced all of those things because I needed them, right? They brought me to where I am today. And all of those experiences have allowed me to be able to sit here with you today and share this with you because I lived it and I understand it and I'm now on the other side of it, right? So think about it from that perspective. Sometimes there are things that people have to go through in order for them to expand and grow. I know there have been many times in my life people have tried to tell me things. You should do this from a place of love, right? Because they could see that I was headed down a certain path or I was going a certain way. But at the end of the day, I had to walk that path for myself because I had to have that experience. Also, there are times when we learn something or we do something and we grow from it and we expand from it, or it changes our life in some way, or it benefits us in some way. And we just want to shout it from the rooftops. Everybody should know about this. Everybody should be doing this, right? Or when we learn something or we unlearn something, right? Then we want everybody to know and we want everybody to get it, right? And when people don't, we want to shove it down their throats. Maybe not for you, but that was my experience. I'd learn things and I'm like, I just want to shake it into people. Why don't you see this? Right? When you try to force something on someone else, that is not being sovereign and it is encroaching upon another's sovereignty, right? Being sovereign means being unapologetically, authentically yourself at all times, but it also means allowing others to be unapologetically, authentically themselves at all times. Which means you make your choices for you, and what other people do is none of your business, especially if they didn't ask for it. You will only cause your own suffering when you believe you know the path of another. That did not come from me. That is something that I heard somewhere else, but it is absolutely 100% true. Every time I have tried to step into somebody else's business, I suffered for it, right? You have to walk your own path and you have to allow others to walk their own as well. So that was a little bit more about relationships. We dived in a little bit deeper. I hope all of this was helpful. I know it's been really helpful for me. And if you want to share anything about your experiences, any comments about what I just shared with you, drop them in the comments. Say hello. I don't bite, I promise. Don't be scared. Drop into the comments and say hello. Or come find me on Instagram or on Patreon. Currently, there is a 21-day challenge that I'm running on Patreon. It's called 21 Days of Devotion Coming Home to You. And it's all about what we were just talking about, sovereignty, how you connect to your sovereignty, how you stand in your power. That's what it's all about. It started on Monday, but guess what? It doesn't matter when you started. The 21 days is going to be there, whether you started it Monday, today, next week, or a year from now. It'll still be there. The other beautiful thing about it is at the end of every week, I am holding a Cosmic Quantum Energy session for anyone who participates in the group, whether you are currently in the group doing the challenge or whether you show up 5 years from now doing the challenge. Quantum work is timeless. It is always there and it will meet you exactly where you're at. I'm a facilitator of a cosmoquantum energy, which is a high vibrational energy healing modality. It's an ascension modality. It is here to assist humanity, to support us, to help us during this time of the shift as we move into these higher levels of consciousness. A Cosma does not look for what's wrong. When you have an Cosma session, source energy goes in and it amplifies what is positive, what is good, what is right. And those are not perfect words, but they will work for what we're talking about right now, yes? So, if that sounds enthralling or captivating, or you'd like to know more, the link is in the description for the challenge on Patreon. You can also come find me on Instagram or Facebook. And I really do hope to see you. Have a beautiful day. Blessings upon all of your nows. I love you.